Welcome to Pillow Talk, the series where we discuss those late night thoughts that keep us up at night. This is our first episode, and for our first episode, we have a very special guest. Our first guest is the Hartford's very own Royston
Royston
Lestor.
Lestor. Hello, everyone. My name is Royston Lestor, like Lydia said. I have many hats on campus. Take a deep breath and go through them. But I serve as the DIJ chair of SGA. I am the president of Free Law Society, which is where I met Lydia. I am also the vice president of QSU. I work in the Office of Inclusive Excellence and Belonging as a DIJB student intern. I work as a red key to give tours, and I'm an RA in Hawk Hall as well. So I do too many things on campus, and today I'm here joining my dear friend Lydia for this podcast.
And with all those hats, there's certainly a lot keeping our friend up at night. So let's get down to the bottom of it. So,
Yes.
Royston, real talk, okay?
Mhm.
Did he do it?
Yes. Yes, he did.
He
Yes,
did?
he did do
He
it.
did.
He did do it. And
You
a
heard
little
it here,
disclaimer, we were never debating whether or not he did it at pre-law when we did that event. But he did do it.
Yeah.
We all know the evidence is there.
The power of
It's overwhelming.
punctuation, folks.
Exactly. Read. It was on the flyer.
Yeah.
Discussion, legal discussion.
Media literacy, very important.
But he did do it. Put him under the jail.
Yeah.
Under the jail.
Okay. So now for a little more serious. If you were a color, what color would you be?
This is interesting. Because I want to just say my favorite color, which is teal. Kind of like turquoise, but darker. It just looks like royal, and it's kind of unique, and it kind of gives just, a good energy, a good vibe.
It really does.
Yeah, and it goes well with
the
gold.
Ocean
So
is
yeah.
so relaxing.
Yes.
But like
anything that has gold undertones or goes well with gold, that's my color.
Yeah. I like it.
Yes.
So like speaking of colors, like there's a lot of colors like in the pride flag.
Yeah.
And like as vice president of the Queer Student Union, formerly known as Spectrum, do you think that campus does a good job of promoting a sense of safety and community among queer students on campus?
I would say no. And I'm going to say why. Because the sense of safety that is being promoted on campus right now is all being done by the students. It is not the campus that is doing it. It is not the administration. It's not faculty. There's some faculty members helping students, but it's a select few. And it's those same faculty members helping all the other affinity groups on campus. Yeah. So it's not the campus that's doing anything for the students. It's the students that are doing their own thing for their own peers and for themselves, because administration does not help that much. So yeah, that's how I feel about that.
Yeah, somebody really needs to do something about that.
Yeah. And that is why I have all of these hats, because I kind of want to be that person in the room to start these conversations. Yeah. Like Toni Morrison said, if there's a book that you want to read and you have not read it yet, or nobody's written it yet, you must be the one to write it. So I want to be the one to make that change that I want to see on campus.
I love that so much. That's such a good answer. Oh my goodness. Okay. Who was your childhood celebrity crush?
Oh. Believe it or not, my childhood celebrity crushes were all women. Most of them were women. And I think I was
icons.
Like Beyonce, Nicki Minaj. I think I was just attracted to the femininity of it all. Yeah, it's just that boss bitch
who
energy.
Who doesn't love Nicki?
Right.
Who can look at Nicki and be like, I know. Like, it's Nicki.
It's Nicki Minaj. And the music is good. She's controversial. She's done some things. But the music is good. The bars are there. Yeah. Sparks, all celebrities have controversy. Yeah. There's no celebrity without controversy. So yeah. Those were like my girls, my icons that I looked up to. But in terms of like maybe like male crushes,
You know, like I was that Zac Efron girl. You know, that Justin
Zach?
Bieber.
I was gonna say Zach, but then
You
he
know,
had waves in which I didn't
mhm.
find him attractive, and then
That's
I found him
fair.
attractive again. I was
That's
like,
fair.
oh no. But
Yeah.
you know who? And this might be a little weird, but I always liked Idris Elba. That man
But you
always
know
did
what?
something for
That
me.
makes sense.
Yes,
There's
yes.
something so like
Something just so
like
yes. Just yes.
yeah.
Just
Mhm.
yes.
Mhm.
The
For
answer is
real.
yes.
For real. So, you know, speaking of celebrities, you've had like a lot of chances and encounters as the model and influencer that you are. So, being that you've modeled New York Fashion Week for the last few years now.
Yes.
How many years has it been
Yes.
now?
It's been like 3 years
Oh
now.
my goodness.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
insane.
Yep.
So, like, what are your thoughts on like the environmental effects of like fast fashion, or and like to go with that, like the concept of overconsumption? Because I feel like overconsumption is like such a buzzword now.
Yes, everybody's using it. And I feel like social media really drives, that conversation because it's really easy to just like click on those links. It says like overconsumption. You see all these videos of people. And what I came to realize, like modeling and seeing some of the behind the scenes of how some things work, I feel like just like all the other sectors or major companies in the entertainment area and just the nation at large, there's a lack of like respect and regard for the environment when doing things. It's all just, we got to do this and we got to look good. And we're not even going to look into alternatives because there's a way and there's ways around still looking good and enjoying these luxuries that we have now without killing our planet.
Yeah.
Because this is just as important as the policies we're trying to pass and just as important as the shows we're trying to put on and the entertainment that we're trying to convey to the public. These things are important because we're all here living on the same planet that's dying from the things that we're doing. So it's kind of disheartening to see, but I feel like as models and even bigger companies and everybody involved could all try to find ways in which we can enjoy these luxuries without destroying the environment. Like there's ways around this. You don't need to consume everything that comes out, every product.
And there's so many companies out there that go like Patagonia. Like that's like such a weird company for me. Like personally, the vibe don't understand, but they like have a mission to like reduce waste and whatnot. And they like there's companies that like use recycled or donated clothes to like upcycle and stuff. Like that's something. What happened to that trend? Like upcycling was like such a trend. I feel like the millennials really carried that for a minute. And then
Gen Zs don't like upcycling.
No, that's too much work.
They don't really like upcycling. They like thrifting though. They do like thrifting, which is good.
But then you have places like thrift stores are ramping up their prices right now.
Yeah, which is crazy for thrift stores.
Yeah,
you need to know your place.
You're getting that stuff for free.
Right, this is donation. A donation. Like, don't try to put too much prices on this.
For real. Okay, another very thought-provoking question for you.
Oh God.
What is your favorite body of water?
Okay, I would say pool, like a pool.
Like a pool?
I would say like a. So I was gonna say like a beach, like the ocean, but the ocean is very scary.
Yeah, there's a lot of unknowns in there.
Yeah, too much unknowns. I don't like unknowns. I don't like unknowns. I don't like being submerged underwater and not knowing what's around me.
Yeah,
so I would say a nice pool.
A pool.
A pool.
But like a chlorine pool or like a saltwater pool?
A little bit of chlorine.
A little bit.
A little bit of chlorine. Just not too much because I have sensitive skin. So we just want a little bit of chlorine in there, and that's it. Salt does too much to my skin. Yeah. What are you thinking for? What would you prefer between those two?
Salt water or chlorine? I don't know. I might be a saltwater girly, to be honest. Just because I love the ocean. I love the beach. I'm such a beach girly. So then, like, having the salt water in a pool, it, like, take me back to the beach.
Take you back, yes.
And also,
I get that.
like,
I see that.
Chlorine really messes with me.
Yeah, it does.
I don't know.
I would just want
Somebody needs to look into that because, like,
a little bit in there.
Is that really safe to be swimming in? You know, like maybe I'm wrong, but
probably not.
Probably not.
I don't really trust these products anymore when they come out. It's like, oh, this is actually safe. Like, is it though?
Is it?
Who confirmed that?
Yeah.
Who confirmed that?
Especially with the new people that are in charge.
Yeah, it's gonna be a rough next 4 year, guys.
Yeah. So, like switching to that, and like bodies of water, you came across a giant body of water.
Yes.
So, like, as an immigrant, how are you feeling given the current political climate and the recent, like, executive orders on things like deportation?
Okay. I'm going to try not to rant too much.
Because rant. That's what we're here for.
Yes, with all those hats, I do a lot of social activism on campus. So obviously, like everything in the media and the things I've been passing in Congress, it's something that I hold really close to my heart. And especially being an immigrant, like my family are immigrants. Most of my family is still back home in Guyana with plans to come up to America in the future. And it's so disheartening to see how quickly administration just like clicks their fingers and they're ready to get rid of the same people who contributed so much to this country's economy, to this country's finances, infrastructure, every sector of this nation, and building it and ensuring that it keeps thriving. Immigrants contribute a huge percentage to that. So it's so disheartening to see how quickly we switch up and just ready to send them all back over the basis of, crime. And they're bringing so much crime when crime has been on a decline. Yet we're running with this idea that immigrants are bringing so much crime. And then now we have policies and all these things surrounding and deporting and uprooting people's lives because of this lie spread by Mr. Orange Potato Man.
Cutting out the legs that keep you standing and they're gonna find out like the consequences of that really soon.
Yeah.
You don't cut the bottom half of the ladder off just because you climbed to the top of it.
Yeah. I remember hearing I saw this in the news in an article. They had like a day where immigrants everywhere just strike, and they didn't go to school, they didn't show up to work, they didn't buy anything, they didn't pay for any services. And there was so much decline and uproar in some companies and schools and stuff. It's like, you guys cannot survive without immigrants. So I don't know why you're trying to uproot them and dismantle the things that they have created for themselves here. Because yes, America is a great opportunity coming from the lives that we've had to come from as immigrants, but we still have to build ourselves up here. When we come here, it's not like you guys throw all these opportunities at us. We still have to go out. Most immigrants have like 3 or 4 jobs trying to take care of all the same kids. And now it's just like, we're just going to get rid of you. It's just crazy to me.
And with that, you ate.
And I recognize my privilege in this situation as well, because as someone who came over in like a different process, as someone who's crossing a direct border like Canada or Mexico, we came via plane. So there was a lot more paperwork that went into it. And I didn't come here on like any kind of program. It was just strictly like a permanent resident visa. So there's a lot of privilege in there over someone who came here probably on like a program or just by like border crossing. And it's hard because I still, as an immigrant, feel as though, there shouldn't be this high and low in this field. Like it's like every area we have to have this, segregation of opportunities. It can never just be a community who receive equal opportunities or the same opportunities. There's always some kind of segregation. There's some kind of leveling. There's some kind of putting someone above others. And I really, really hate to see it. Really hate to see it. But this is why, again, I'm in all these positions, because I try to do the best I can in the areas that I can, because I feel like it contributes to a larger movement.
I feel like you brought up like a really good angle of the conversation with how you came to America, because I feel like there's a lot of misconception about like the whole process of immigrating to the U.S. Whether you do it illegally. I mean, it's not illegal on stolen land. Like,
right, okay, like there's a lot more illegal stuff you can be worried about.
A little controversial, but our president's a felon, so
right. That's what I said. There's a lot more legal stuff you can be worried about.
Even just looking at like the costs of immigration, like the cost that you have to pay to even apply to a visa, apply to become a part of a citizenship program, to take the test, and all those things.
Yep.
It's very expensive. Yep.
And I remember we did like a lot of trips to the city because it's not like they make that process very accessible for people either. You have to travel like 3 hours just for them to sit you down in a room for 5 minutes and be like, actually, you need to bring your grandmother's certificate as well as her dead husband's last will. Bring all of that, come back to us, and just send him like 5 minutes. So there's a lot that goes into it that people don't really understand. It's not like people get up and they're like, oh, I want to go to America. Just get on a plane and go to America. No, they make it very hard for you. And I can only imagine how hard it's going to be now that Trump's back in power and he's already doing mass deportation. I can only imagine how hard it's going to be for people to come to America now in these times.
For real. It's getting crazy. So
it's already crazy.
Going to, maybe a little crazier spot.
Okay, let's go crazier.
I know we've had this conversation personally, but like Drake or Kendrick.
Listen. Okay, listen. Okay, listen, guys. Listen up. I barely listened to either of their music prior to this beef. Okay, I mainly listened to Drake because he was in a lot of songs with Nicki and Lil Wayne.
For real though.
I listened to Kendrick songs because he did some songs with Beyonce, and I love Beyonce. So you can kind of see where we're going, right? You can kind of see where we're going with this. But if I had to choose, I would choose Kendrick. I would just have to choose Kendrick, especially after that Super Bowl. There was a lot of symbolism in there. I love the message that was being sent. I just think he has more craftsmanship and like, he's into sending a message and more than just music and movement. The beef was its whole thing and it called out a lot of things that should have been called out. But I'm no, person that listens to rap that much to say who has better rap skills.
People have their tastes.
But if I had to choose, it would be Kendrick. Okay, I love that. Yeah.
That's gonna cause some issues.
Listen, I said what I said. Okay, I said what I said.
You heard it here.
You heard it here.
That's right. All right. So talking about two Black men, very prominent, and you yourself are also a very prominent Black man. What do you think about the talks of Black History Month, like being the shortest month of the year, and how there's talks of it being removed?
Yeah, I'm gonna say this. I just did recently we did a community conversations, a tabling event programming on Black history. And that's when before that I was reading up about how like the government's trying to remove things and it's been removed from different pages and websites. And I'm thinking to myself, these people really think that they can just erase this little information or blurb that you had on your website and think, oh, Black History Month is gone. No, it's not. First of all, it shouldn't have been February. It should have been a longer month. But guess what? Black history is American history, and Black History Month is Black History celebration should be all year round because it is woven into the DNA of America. Yes. So it is not going anywhere. I don't care how many websites are revamped and you remove it. I don't care how much you try to erase us from social media. The people will still be there, and the people's voices will still be there. And there's no world where Black people are just gonna sit back and let the government erase them. So he might have a lot of power. I'm not saying he doesn't have a lot of power to do things, but Black History Month isn't going anywhere. Black history ain't going anywhere. Black celebration ain't going anywhere. Black people are gonna continue to thrive as we always do. Yes. And we're gonna fight. We're gonna fight back. We're not gonna lay our backs and let this happen. No.
Yeah, history shows that
history shows.
nobody's
Exactly.
laying down, rolling over.
Yep.
It's
You cannot take away Black history from Black people. We're the ones who lived it. Our ancestors are the ones who experienced it. Like, there's no taking it away. It is not something you can just take away. You don't have the power to do that.
Yeah.
You have governmental power, but
Unless
you don't
have a time machine.
Right, you don't have power over Black history and what we can celebrate and the pride we have from our Black ancestors. So there's no way you can take. I do not believe that it can be taken away. And I will stand 10 toes down on that hill. There's no way you can just take away Black history. Like, what? That's just not possible.
Yeah. History is history, whether you tell it or not.
History. Yeah, whether you choose to believe it, whether you choose to ignore it or learn from it, history is history and it will always be there.
It will always be there. And so will Pillow Talk. That was a great first episode. I hope you all enjoyed our conversation. We had a lot to talk about, and there will be a lot more to talk about in the coming weeks. Stay tuned for next week's episode.